All right. I want the person to start with a real side control. Okay, if they're super loose, like you're not really gonna get used to that feeling. My 3 frames are in. Both hands, they're the typical frames, and my knee on the hip. Look how I use this elbow to track his inner thigh. Okay, so when he goes to parry and staple, I'll be better able to resist that. Now look, when Jaden goes to knee on belly freeze, I drive my elbow up his belly button to create a bit of a frame, and I use my knee, not to enter at the hip. You see how his leg will be in the way? I enter by his armpit, near his shin, and then I pummel in. If you don't take that pathway, you're probably never gonna make it. I'm worried about the crossface, so I use a pendulum of my free leg to cast myself out. As I pendulum down, I push my knee in his stomach, I get out. And I also use this opportunity to turn on my side. I pummel my hand in, and I create a no-gi frame against the crossface. We always start with no-gi grips, and we build to gi grips because they're faster. So in danger, like in a dangerous, urgent situation, no-gi grips. Put on the ground, I'm gonna shift on my side, and my butterfly hook goes under my existing frame leg. If I go over, I displace, and there's a moment where I have no control. So I maintain my framing leg, I put the butterfly hook in. I extract, tuck in the middle, and I'll switch to a cross collar now. See how I upgrade as I gain more control? I want to take a hook grip, but I can't. So when I cast my shoulders out using a hip extension, now I can. I take my hook grip, look at my elbow. I close my elbow towards my hips and I come back in. This allows me to be closer and load the weight. Look how my knee is not collapsed underneath. Okay, as soon as his hand comes up, I'm going to tuck it across to my hip. I like it anchored on the far hip, furthest elbow close to floor. You guys see that? As I press into the floor, I'm going to pull the collar, pull my hook, I'm going to load him in. And then as I gently flare my elbow, I slide up to his heel. And then I'll come up. Continue on belly. 1, 2, 3. When my partner comes in, instead of establishing frames, as you get more comfortable, the irony of this is you won't get comfortable at side control escapes until you're good enough where you won't really get put in side control. Okay? That's just the way life works. Okay? But as he comes in, you might just do this. So you guys see what I did? Pretty much same 3 frames, but one hand, instead of being a frame, became an underhook. The other way is, come on in, heavy, heavy, heavy. I would do a one-legged bridge, pummel under. The reason I've been teaching this is because I'm assuming it's very hard to get the timing. Because when you're getting past, you're panicking about that. You're not thinking, let me set up my next position. So as Jaden comes in, same 3 frames. What I'm not going to do is explode. What I'm doing is creating a slow shift. I keep my foot on the ground. I raise my hips and I gently use my knee. As I come up on my shoulder and I descend, there'll be a lot of space. Not a lot of space, but there'll be space. Okay? As I drop my hips, I don't move my elbow. I move my hand under his belly button. Everyone see that? I'm going to pinch here with my elbow. I'm going to use my knee to redirect, and really I'm pushing myself south. My hand on the hip, I use it to stabilize myself, and I use my heel on the ground. And I point my heel a little bit to the east. As I shoot under, I'm going to flare my elbow. You see how I brought my head on his belly button? If your head is anywhere else, your head will be loose and exposed. And then now shift from high underhook to hip underhook. I cup the far side of the hip. And as I scissor my legs, belly down, I'll be able to come up off my shoulder. He's here, he comes in, side control. As he comes in, look what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna use my knee actively. I'm gonna raise my hips. I'm not exploding here, guys. As I descend, I'm gonna punch my underhook and sit heavy on me, Jaden. Perfect. I'm gonna use this, my heel on the ground, and all I'm gonna do is slight displacement, slight disconnect, shoot my body under. Okay, look on my hand still on the rib, my knee still pushing against his hip, and I turn on my side and I hide my head. I'm gonna cup the front of his hip, and I'm gonna pull. As I pull, I scissor my legs, I come up. When I come up, check out how I'm stapling this leg. So look, I pull my butt to my heel. See how much I move? I can't let my head drift out here. I gotta bury my head. If you look and you're seeing sunlight, and it's wrong. Okay, it should be dark. I'm gonna capture the hip, I'm gonna scissor my legs, and pull my knees in. That's all it is. 2, 3, let's go. Once you spend like a couple of years in bottom side control, you realize like it's okay, it's not that bad. What makes it bad is like panicking and doing stuff like this and getting submitted. Right? If you actually keep your arms in, it's very hard to submit someone. It's definitely not easy. One leggy bridge, and I'll pummel my other hand in. You guys see that? So this time it wasn't my underhook hand, it was my second hand. Okay? Now look what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna use my forearm, and I'm gonna very gently extend his head. It's like a couple of inches. At the same time, I'm going to bridge use my knee to displace. Right here. Just a little bit of space. As I push my hand into the hip, I'm going to shoot my hips out. Okay? And then I'll just sit back to guard. 3 points of connection, same for all 3 moves today. As I raise my hips and I descend, I'm going to pummel my hand in. Now I could do it from here, no problem, but I kind of like to do it timing off a little bit of a bridge, okay? So look what I'm going to do. I'm going to raise my hips. On the descent is when I'm going to shoot. All I do is I flip from the back of my hand to a C grip on the hip, and I'm able to rotate my head out. So look, as I come down, I get my hand in. Now, you have a couple ways you can do this. You can even pendulum. So this is the way we looked at last class. I'm going to take my north leg. I'm going to point it south. Be careful, guys. Make sure no one's sitting here. I have long legs. As I swing, that's when I'm going to push. As I push, look how I raise his head off me, and I rotate. I actually think that's like an easier way to do it, and that's how I do it. Kind of the same concept, but when the guy goes to knee on belly, instead of bringing my knee, go ahead, instead of bringing my knee here, I'll bring it here. So this time, my foot will go closer to his armpit, and my knee will kind of come right here on the edge of his jaw. But what I don't want to do is I don't want to spike him in the jaw. Okay? What I also want to avoid is having my hips facing this way. Use your chest and collapse my legs. There you go, okay? So watch again. As he comes, okay, I'm gonna bring my leg up. And then this is the easy part. I'm gonna use my hand, I'm gonna hook down and across and throw my leg over. Okay, I can finish the armbar right here using my tricep. Or I can tilt to the side, push through, and finish my armbar. When he goes up, look what I do. I pull my knee inside and tight. So it's like the squeeze between my hand and my foot. I anchor myself. Now look what I do. I throw my leg long as I direct his head, and I bite over the head and neck. So you kind of don't want to be able to see the neck. I'm going to use my tricep to bite down on the wrist, and I'll use this hand either to stabilize my knee, help to steer this way, or just on my hamstring. I don't really care, the knee is fine. I can finish right here by pulling down on my heels, or if I want to sweep Jaden, I tip him towards his head, push him out, and I let go. That arm. 1, 2, 3.